I am Maria. We're at the Newmont Center in Agoura Hills, California. And right now, we are talking about teen anxiety. Audrey Newmont is here to share insights about what you can do in your life, real life tools that can help you. So, Audrey, what are some key things that people need to think about to help teen anxiety?
You know, we're having a real serious moment now with teen anxiety, and you talk to so many parents, you talk to kids. I've got kids myself, and a lot of their friends are just facing a moment. And one of the things that I've found that is extremely helpful is to understand what's going on when you have anxiety. I think a lot of times kids will have an anxiety attack, or they'll have anxiety in general, and they feel powerless because their body kind of just takes over. So it's important to understand what's literally going on inside the body. And when I explain this, parents, you can talk to your kids about it and re-explain it back to them. So I want you to think about it like this. Your heart is producing electromagnetic energy all day, every second of the day. And when you're in what I call fear feelings, the bottom of it is depression and grief, goes up to rage, anger. All these feelings are creating a certain vibration in the body, and anxiety is huge. So imagine that when you're feeling anxiety, your heart is producing electromagnetic energy and the kind of vibration of anxiety. So what literally happens inside the body is the energy leaves the center and it goes to the extremities into fight, flight, freeze. So there's this, and then on the inside, we're producing a lot of adrenaline. We're producing a lot of stress hormones, cortisol, and it's having a communication with all the cells. So imagine your muscles get tight. Imagine that you stop breathing as much and just everything gets taken, like it gets carried away with itself on the inside of our body. And most importantly, I think, is that we stop thinking clearly. So when kids understand that when they're feeling this, their body literally goes through this whole effect, they understand that it's not them, it's what's happening on the inside of them. And most importantly, they have an ability to understand that on the other side, what I call our power feelings, is where they have the ability to choose calm. So when you're being calm, literally the energy comes back grounded, centered, focused. And instead of producing the adrenaline and the stress hormones, we're producing more dopamine and serotonin. And the muscles relax. Everything becomes much more at ease. And most importantly, we're thinking more clearly. So there's all these different techniques and all these things that you can do to choose calm. And one of my favorites is literally taking a time out. Whatever's going on with you. It could be as easy as, excuse me, I have to go to the restroom. In the restroom, focus on what's happening right now. Be present. Because a lot of times anxiety is about something that we're imagining might happen. Like say for instance your kids, a lot of them have anxiety with test taking. They're imagining what they're going to do with regard to the test. They have social anxiety. They're imagining what's going to happen. Or sometimes something does happen and then they don't know what to do with it. So when we're empowering our kids with more information and sharing with them, these are things that you can do in the moment, that is extremely helpful. Another thing that is a really good tool to use is to take time and just be out in nature. When we're talking about energy, there's a lot of really good energy in nature. And what I've found with kids is they have a tendency to spend too much time inside these days. You know, they're on all these different screens. Really take time to limit the screens and make sure that they're getting outside. Another final tool is, believe it or not, aromatherapy. There's all these different scents that help to trigger in the brain a stronger feeling of calm, focus, being grounded.
Yes.
So these are all really important tools, but one of the most important for parents is to listen, to literally take that time. And what I like to do is to get them in the car and go for a drive somewhere. And I
So
quit my
being in the car with your kids can, in essence, be a timeout. We just don't call that anymore. The older they get, right? That moment in the car is a timeout, a good timeout.
So I kidnap them and I just keep my mouth shut and I wait for them to start talking. And I don't have much, like if they tell me something that's kind of shocking or whatever, I keep myself very, oh really? And then I do this key thing. I ask what, when, where, why, how. And I let them talk. And then I ask them, what would you do in this situation? And I keep bringing it back to them figuring out how to change that challenge in their life. So
Nice.
that's some key things that we do. There's a whole bunch more things, but those are pretty key for right now.
So the three things that Audrey was just talking about right now for you guys are taking a time out, getting in touch with nature, and aromatherapy. And I have to say, aromatherapy works wonders. When you walk into any kind of environment and it smells good, whether it's a garden and you can smell the lavender growing near you or the roses, or an office setting, a therapist's office, when you walk in, a lot of people are becoming more aware, thank God, about the benefits of all of our senses absorbing the calm. And like
Absolutely.
Audrey says, choose calm. That is the main message that Audrey gives to her clients. Choose calm. So, thank you all for listening right now. Audrey Newmont has designed a panel discussion, by the way, that's going to be taking place here in the local community. We are in Agora Hills, as I said earlier. But what's happening next week?
On next Thursday night at 6:30 here at Newmont Center, we're going to be having a panel of therapists for you to give some information, some tools, some insights, and to answer any questions that you might have. We have Stephanie Bean, Athena Naranjo, and Catherine Howard, and myself, and we're just going to be here for you.
Yes, and we're going to be preparing some content so that you can enjoy it after the panel discussion. If you're in the local area, you're welcome to come. You don't even need to say a word. You can just sit in the corner and absorb their insights. It's going to be
You
amazing.
don't have to sit in the corner.
You can. You can have a timeout of your own with some lavender.
and it's no charge. It's
Yes.
free to the community. It's
Yes.
for you.
Yes, and we'll be getting it out here on the platforms that we're on right now too. So make sure that you go find Holistic Insights, by the way, because we're going to be producing a lot of great episodes there for listeners of the show. A lot of people are affiliated with the Newmont Center that are fantastic healers of all sorts, all the way from chiropractic work to energy crystal layout healings. All sorts of stuff that you might have thought might be a little crazy, but it might help you.
It works.
Expand, open your mind. Thanks so much for joining us. I am Maria. This is Audrey Newmont.
Bye for now.
Bye-bye.